Okay, I'm live. So, okay, so welcome back to the video. Today is day 45 of the plan. So I'll be reading chapters 22 through 22, 23, 24, and 25, 4 chapters. And so, starting out in this is the second Kings. I'll be starting out in 22, caring for your brother's property. This is Deuteronomy. If you see your brother Israelite's ox or sheep straying, do not ignore it and make sure that you return it to your brother. If your brother does not live near you or you don't know him, you are to bring the animal to your home to remain with you until your brother comes looking for it. Then you are to return it to him. Do the same for his donkey, his garment, or anything your brother has lost and you have found. You must not ignore it. If you see the brother's donkey or ox fallen down on the road, do not ignore it. Help him lift it up. Preserving natural distinctions. A woman is not to wear male clothing, and a man is not to put on a woman's garment. For everyone who does these things is detestable to the Lord your God. You come across a bird's nest of chicks or eggs, either in a tree or on the ground along the road, and the mother is sitting on the chicks or eggs. Do not take the mother along with the young. You may take the young for yourself, but be sure to let the mother go free, so that you may prosper and live long. If you build a new house, make a railing around your roof, so you do not bring blood guilt on your house if someone falls from it. Do not plant your vineyard with 2 types of seed, otherwise the entire harvest, both the crop you plant and the produce of the vineyard, will be defiled. Do not plow with an ox and a donkey together. Do not wear clothes made of blue wool and linen. Make tassels on the 4 corners of the outer garment you wear. Violations of proper sexual conduct. If a man marries a woman, has sexual relations with her, and comes to hate her, and accuses her of shameful conduct and gives her a bad name, saying, I married this woman, was intimate with her, but didn't find any evidence of her virginity, a young woman's father and mother will take the evidence of her virginity and bring it to the city elders at the city gate. The young woman's father will say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as a wife, but he hates her. He has accused her of shameful conduct, saying, I didn't find any evidence of your daughter's virginity, but here's the evidence of my daughter's virginity. They will then spread out the clothing for the city elders. The elders of the city will take the man and punish him. They'll also fine him 500 silver shekels, and give them to the young woman's father, because that man gave an Israelite virgin a bad name. She remains a wife. He cannot divorce her as long as he lives. But if his accusation is true and no evidence of the young woman's virginity is found, then they will bring the woman to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city will stone her to death, for she has committed an outrage in Israel by bringing from Egypt while living in her father's house. You must purge the evil from you. If a man discovered having sexual relations with another man's wife, both the man who had sex with the woman and the woman must die. Must purge the evil from Israel. If there is a young woman who is a virgin engaged to a man, another man encounters her in the city and sleeps with her, take the 2 of them out to the gate of their city and stone to death. The young woman because she did not cry out in the city, and the man because he has violated his neighbor's fiancé. Must purge the evil from you. If the man encounters an engaged woman in the open country, and he seizes and rapes her, only the man who raped her must die. Do nothing to the young woman, because she is not guilty of an offense deserving death. This case is just like the one in which a man attacks his neighbor and murders him. When he found her in the field, the engaged woman cried out, but there was no one to rescue her. The man encounters a young woman, a virgin who is not engaged, takes hold of her and rapes her, and they are discovered. The woman who raped her is to give the young woman's father 50 silver shekels, and she will become his wife because he violated her. He cannot divorce her as long as he lives. A man is not to marry his father's wife. He must not violate his father's marriage bed. Exclusion and Inclusion. Chapter 23. No man whose testicles have been crushed or whose penis has been cut off may enter the Lord's assembly. No one of illegitimate birth may enter the Lord's assembly. None of his descendants, even to the 10th generation, may enter the Lord's assembly. No Ammonite or Moabite may enter the Lord's assembly. None of their descendants, even to the 10th generation, may enter the Lord's assembly. Just because they did not meet you with food water from the journey after you came out of Egypt, because Balaam son of Beor from Aram and near Aram was hired to curse you. Yet the Lord your God will not listen to Balaam. He turned the curse into a blessing for you, because the Lord your God loves you. Never pursue their welfare or prosperity as long as you live. Do not despise an Edomite because he is your brother. Do not despise the Egyptian because you are a resident alien in his land. The children born to them in third generation may enter the Lord's assembly. Cleanliness of the camp. When you are encamped against your enemies, be careful to avoid anything offensive. There is a man among you who is unclean because of the bodily emission during the night. You must go outside the camp. You may not come anywhere inside the camp. When evening approaches, he is to wash with water, and when the sun sets, you may come inside the camp. You are to have a place outside the camp to go there or relieve yourself. You are to have a digging tool equipment. When you relieve yourself, dig a hole and your excrement. For the Lord your God walks through your camp to protect you and deliver your enemies to you. So your encampments must be holy. You must not see anything incident among you, or he will turn away from you. Fugitive slaves. If you are not returned a slave to his master, and he has escaped from his master to you. Let him live among you wherever he wants within your city gates. Do not mistreat him. Court prostitution forbidden. No Israelite woman is to be a court prostitute, and no Israelite man is to be a court prostitute. Do not bring female prostitutes' wages or male prostitutes' earnings in the house of the Lord your God to fulfill any vow, because both are detestable to the Lord your God. Interest and loans. Do not charge your brother interest on silver, food that can earn interest. You may charge a foreigner interest, but you must not charge your brother Israelite interest, so that the Lord your God may bless you in everything you do in the land you are entering to possess. Keeping vows. If you make a vow to the Lord your God, do not be slow to keep it, because he will require it of you, and it will be counted against you as a sin. But if you refrain from making a vow, it will not be counted against you as a sin. Be careful to do whatever comes from your lips, because you have freely vowed what you promised to the Lord your God. Neighbor's crops. When you enter your neighbor's vineyard, you may eat as many grapes as you want until you're full. But do not put any in your container. When you enter your neighbor's standing grain, you may pluck heads of grain with your hand. Do not put a sickle through your neighbor's grain. Chapter 24. Halfway through. Marriage and divorce laws. If a man marries a woman, but she becomes displeasing to him because he finds something incident about her, he may write her a divorce certificate and hand it to her and send her away from his house. If after leaving the house she goes and becomes another man's wife, the second man hates her, writes the divorce certificate, hands it to her, and sends her away from his house, or he dies. First husband, who sends her away, may not marry her again after she has been defiled, because that would be detestable to the Lord. You must not bring guilt on the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. When a man takes a bride, he must not go out with the army or be liable of any duty. He is free to stay home for 1 year so he can bring joy to his wife he is married. Safeguarding life. Do not take a pair of grindstones or even an upper millstone as security for a dip, because that's like taking life as security. If a man is discovered kidnapping one of his Israelite brothers, whether he treats him as a slave or sells him, the kidnapper must die. You must purge the evil from you. Be careful of the person who has a case of serious skin disease, following carefully everything that Levitical practice the Levitical priest instructs you to do. Be careful to do as I commanded them. Remember that the Lord your God did to Miriam on the journey after you left Egypt. Consideration for people in need. When you make a loan of any kind to your neighbor, do not enter his house to collect what he offers as security. Stand outside while the man you are making a loan to brings security out to you. If he is a poor man, do not sleep with the garment he is given as security. Be sure to return it to him as sunset. Then he'll sleep with it and bless you. And this will be counted as righteousness to you before the Lord your God. Do not oppress a hired worker who is poor or needy, whether one of your Israelite brothers or one of the resident aliens in town, in your land. You are to pay him his wages each day before the sun sets, because he is poor and depends on them. Otherwise he will cry out to the Lord against you, and you will be held guilty. Fathers are not to be put to death for the children, and children not to be put to death for the fathers. Each person will be put to death for his own sin. Do not deny justice to a resident alien or fatherless child. And do not take a widow's garment as security. Remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you from there. Therefore I am commanding you to do this. You reap the harvest from your field, and forget a sheaf in the field. Do not go back to get it. It is left to the resident alien and the fatherless, and the widow, so that the Lord your God may bless you and all the work of your hands. When you knock down the fruit from the olive tree, do not go over the branches again. For remains will be for a resident alien, fatherless, and the widow. When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, do not glean what's left. What remains will be for the resident alien, the fatherless, and the widow. Remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt. Therefore, I'm commanding you to do this. The last chapter. Fairness and mercy. If there is a dispute between men, they are to go to court, and the judges will hear their case. They will clear the innocent and condemn the guilty. If the guilty party deserves to be flogged, the judge will make him lie down and be flogged in his presence. The number of lashes appropriate for his crime. He may be flogged with 40 lashes, but no more. Otherwise, if he's flogged with more lashes than these, your brother will be degraded in your sight. Do not muzzle an ox like treads out grain. Preserving the family line. When your brothers live on the same property and one of them dies without a son, the elected dead man may not marry a stranger outside the family. His brother-in-law is to take her as a wife, have sexual relations with her, and perform the duty of the brother-in-law for her. The son she bears will carry on the name of the dead brother, so his name will not be blotted out from Israel. But if the man doesn't want to marry his sister-in-law, she is to go tell others of the city against him. My brother-in-law refuses to preserve his brother's name in Israel. He isn't willing to perform the duty of a brother-in-law for me. The elders of the city will summon him and speak with him. If he persists and says, I don't want to marry her, the sister-in-law will go up to him and say to the elders, remove his sandal from his foot and spit in his face. Then she will declare, this is what a man who will not build upon his brother's house and family name in Israel will be, the house of a man whose sandals are removed. And two men are fighting with each other, and the wife of one steps in to rescue her husband from striking one, and she puts out her hand and drives the Gentiles. You are to cut off her hand. Do not show pity. Honest weights and measures. Do not have differing weights in your bag, one heavy and one light. Do not have differing dry measures in your house, larger and smaller. You must have a full and honest weight, a full and honest dry measure, so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. For everyone who does such things and acts unfairly is detestable to the Lord your God. Revenge on the Amalekites. Remember what the Amalekites did to you on the journey after you left Egypt. They met you along the way and attacked all your stragglers from behind you when you were tired and weary. They did not fear God. When the Lord your God gives you rest from the enemies around you in the land your Lord your God is giving you to possess as an inheritance, blot out the memory of Amalek under heaven. Do not forget. That is all the reading for today. I hope. 22, 23, 24, 25. Yes, that is all the reading for today. So it starts out talking about caring for your brother's property, and then preserving natural distinctions, and then violations of proper sexual conduct, then exclusion and inclusion, cleanliness of the clan, fugitive slaves, prostitution forbidden, interest on loans, keeping vows, neighbors' crops, marriage and divorce laws, safeguarding life, consideration for people in need, fairness and mercy, preserving the family line, honest weights and measures, and then revenge on the Amalekites. That was a rough day today to read. Well,